This time on Watchers of Tomorrow, John Luke is causing trouble.
Hello, welcome to Watchers of Tomorrow, the sci-fi review and critique show that technically can't exist in English. My name is Gep, and I'm joined as always by my friend and co-host Dr. Izix.
Hi.
And this week we have fatherhood, sorta.
Daddiness?
Yeah, daddy issues, but not like the sexy kind of daddy issues.
Yeah. Like, how do you be a dad when you didn't realize you were?
Yeah.
But you had been.
You were a dad, but you also had a bad dad. But you are already a dad.
But no one told you until it was a little late in the day, actually.
Yeah, but not like the thing that happened with Worf.
Yeah.
He found out he was a dad, even though the kid was like, well, I guess like 2, but Klingons grow fast, I guess.
Yeah, they're like plants after a fashion. They grow tall quickly, and then they start accumulating rings like trees.
Yeah. I think I saw someone, like, they didn't do it, but I think I saw someone in an early design phase say something about that for the forehead ridges.
They would give the older Klingons a lot more of them?
Yeah. I don't think that actually played out in the way, like, sort of, but I don't think they ever, like, systematized it.
Well, when we get to DS9 and our trio of Klingons from the original series pop back, we can say it applies only to them.
Yeah, because they did get a lot more forehead ridges than we saw before.
Yes. So it's a conditional thing, but something Enterprise, something we don't talk about it.
So this week's episode is Future Imperfect, which took me way too long to figure out is a bad grammar pun.
Yeah.
Mostly because past imperfect is a linguistic tense, but it doesn't technically exist in English, so we don't need to know about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's also a name for a VNV Nation album.
Okay. I somehow doubt that. When did that come out?
2002.
Okay,
so
I
pretty
somehow doubt this is a reference to that then, somehow. Yeah. Like, unless it is Future Imperfect. Ooh.
Well, it has the song of Genesis, which is another episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation,
and also a movie.
Yeah. So clearly there's connections. We just don't understand them because they came out at the wrong time.
Yeah, they're thinking in 5D something checkers, 5D checkers.
Mm-hmm. 5D checkers. How would you even play that?
I don't know.
Really?
I used to play 6 or 7 dimension tic-tac-toe because it was the only way to make it fun. Mm-hmm. But it's just a series of interconnecting tic-tac-toe grids. It's not that hard.
I guess in some ways it sort of turns into Sudoku, except strategic.
Yeah, somewhat.
So what is a future perfect verb?
It doesn't. It just doesn't. As far as I can understand, past perfect just means something that's like continuous and still happening. I have always done this. Past imperfect is like possibly non-contiguous. Like, I used to do that. I don't think that's a very good explanation because, as I said, this is something that doesn't exist in English. It's like primarily like a French and Latin concept, it seems.
I guess the Wikipedia examples for future perfect is things like shall have gone. It's like, okay.
Yeah, because like the past is somehow, the past thing is like wrapped up in it in a way that I can't quite explain because I'm not a linguist.
So at some future point,
this will be the past, and when it is the past, this will have happened.
Yeah, so that's perfect.
Yeah, so future imperfect, I guess, is like, I will have not done that anymore.
Or maybe it's like if you want to have an example of like, I will, shall have gone. It's, shall have failed to go.
Yeah, I shall have not passed.
Or maybe a double negative starts cropping up somewhere.
Maybe.
I shan't have not gone.
Anyway, that's a linguistic pun, and it's like foreshadowing, sort of.
Yes, that maybe the future is falling apart.
Yeah, I mean, we already know that. We've always known. The future is always bad.
Yeah, I'll be dating the episode, but, we just look at the news today, and, well, the latest horrible things are happening, and that's terrible.
I don't think that's dating anything. I think that's been the last 10 years.
You're right. Dang.
I've talked to some people. I've been to like events and stuff where people who are, in their 20s are like, everything has always gotten worse. It's like, yeah, I see that. If you're in your 20s, that's depressing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and well, there was maybe a time where things didn't just continuously suck forever. It'd be nice to have some time like that at some point.
Yeah. Well.
So
may you live in interesting times.
Well, I think this is interesting enough for me for the time being. Anyway.
So this episode was written by like 3 people, but we've heard of some of them, so it's fine.
Yeah.
So first we have J. Larry Carl, who is the writer and producer who worked on several well-known horror movies in the 70s, was responsible for the utter abomination that is the editing in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which I am very much more down on because someone just made me watch it. I understand it's a seminal horror text. It is terrible.
Yeah, I've only seen clips myself because, well, yeah, I wasn't super I'm not really a slasher person. You could
There's
say,
not a lot of slashing. Like, there's a lot of not much.
Yeah, so
there's a decent amount of running through the woods. The worst thing the absolute worst thing is someone getting put on a meat hook for a minute, and then everything else is very like out of nowhere. Like someone just walks into a room and then just bashed over the head with a hammer and dies immediately. Like, okay. From a modern horror perspective, it's like, oh, that was anticlimactic.
Yeah, so what you're saying is Hellraiser movies are on the average like 10 times much more gruesome in various
Probably.
ways.
I don't think I've seen a Hellraiser movie yet.
Well, if you ever want me to go through the full timeline of them, yeah, let me know.
So Carol did a better job writing than editing, apparently, because they did 80s cartoons. Writer on He-Man, Masters of the Universe, and Ghostbusters. Not the real Ghostbusters. The other Ghostbusters, which, look up. You should look this up if you haven't heard of it. It is a weird, weird thing.
Yeah. I remember seeing as a kid, I'm like, this is kind of baffling, but there's nothing else on, so I'll watch.
It's one of those cartoons that's like bad enough that it loops back around to being interesting, especially since they're very committed to there being some like deep cut lore. There's like continuing story arcs and some sort of like alternate dimensional time travel, something or other going on.
It's like, well, at a certain point, if you're not the real Ghostbusters, you have to come up with something to draw the kids in.
The unreal Ghostbusters. The uncanny Ghostbusters. We also have She-Ra, Brave Star, Thundercats, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Which I only know because I have all of the Zelda episodes on DVD. Did all of these. Could list these all day, basically.
Yeah. Did a couple things besides this attached to Star Trek in sort of tangential ways, like Tech War, some episodes of that in the 90s, which was sort of a passion project by Shatner. And wrote a couple episodes of Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction.
Someone wrote those? I can't believe someone wrote those. I've seen those. It doesn't seem like anybody wrote those.
Well, there's the ones that are supposed to be based off like real stories and things like that, and then the ones they make up that are supposed to be, haha, we caught ya. And Jonathan Frakes is there asking you questions.
I can't remember if I talked about this before. I hadn't seen any episodes of that. I'd seen the memes. And then I saw some episodes with a friend a little bit ago, and I expected there to be literally any amount of context. And there's just not. They tell you this wild thing, and then they go, yeah, that happened. Moving on.
It's like, oh, okay. Nothing, no other details?
Yeah. It's like, woman gave birth to an octopus. That's true. I feel like we need a little more context here.
Yeah. Like, what happened to cause this,
Yeah.
But Carol will be back for more adventures and story editing, mostly in TNG.
Yeah, doing other Star Trek stuff. Also moved on to Stargate SG-1 and did Phantom 2040, which I only like because the Phantom is still one of my favorite superhero movies.
Excellent. I did not realize there was a Phantom 2040.
Well, of course, the Phantom is eternal. The ghost who walks.
Yes. So, being in the future makes sense.
Also, someone who wrote on Stargate SG-1. SG-1 collected every sci-fi writer and actor whoever did anything in the 90s.
Of course.
So,
because, they 10 years of SG1 alone, you start to, need people.
So also our other writer, David Karn, or Karen, I'm not sure which one of those. They worked on a lot of the same stuff as Carol.
Like Phantom 2040 and Tech War.
80s cartoons. Some other stuff that is like Knight Rider and Twilight Zone and things in that. But if I listed the things, it would be largely the same.
Yes.
Also,
they did not do Space Precinct. Wait, no, they did, actually.
Yeah, this is the kind of cutting-edge investigative commentary you're looking for. They didn't do... Oh, wait, no.
They did. I was looking at the wrong list.
Then Ronald D. Moore, who is just going to be around for a while. So I'm not going to explain him every time.
Yeah, so he'll hang out and then eventually do some Battlestar stuff later.
Yeah. And then actors. Got a couple of...
Yeah.
We've only got a couple of, like, guest stars who are here. They are sort of repeats somewhat. So, we've got Andres Katsoulis, I never can pronounce his damn name, who is back.
Andreas Katsoulis,
who is back as Tomalak, who is the best Romulan. Is the only Romulan in our hearts.
And he'll be back again, at least a few times. But was he even here?
Yeah, we talked about him before. We'll talk about him again. He's notably been in other sci-fi things like Max Headroom, Alien Nation, and will go on to be a main character in Babylon 5.
As one of the most nuanced and against-type characters he ends up ever playing, so...
I mean, it's kind of like...
You've not seen Babylon 5?
From what I've seen of Babylon 5, it's like if the Romulans had more thought behind them than the bad guys in the Cold War.
Yep. It's like, what if you were looking at a Cold War from the outside, and these guys are the Romulans, and these guys are, I guess, the different Romulans.
Yeah. But, like, if you let the camera keep rolling after they turn the thing off, and have just got, I will murder you for sins against the Romulan Empire, and then they go like, well, how do I feel about that, really?
Yeah. I need to, like, express some culture stuff now, and, like talk about a family, maybe. I don't know, and maybe I'm going to meet some cool people that are, also doing stuff, and then we're going to, like, have conversations.
And we also have Chris, the name I'm not going to be able to pronounce, Dimitrol, probably.
Close enough.
Who plays Jean-Luc, but not the one you're thinking of.
Dun, dun, dun.
Got his acting start by auditioning for Return of the Living Dead, but he was too young to play a zombie. But he was so good that he got signed with an agent and got several guest roles in 80s and 90s shows. He was in Mr. Belvedere and McGee and Me, something. I've never heard of half of these 80s shows. I should know them because I'm, like, born in the time period where I'm supposed to be nostalgic for a bunch of shit that aired before I was born, but I'm just not.
Yeah, I've never heard of McGee and Me, so, yeah.
Got a major part in something called Dream On, and was a reoccurring role in Lewis and Clark. Lois and Clark, not Lewis and Clark. The Superman, not the Expedition.
Well, yes. They put the name together to fool us, yeah. I think.
You expect to see a colonial drama about people exploring the Louisiana Purchase, but no, it's just Superman again.
Yeah.
And he briefly starred in The Secret Adventures of Jules Verne, which was so, like, unfortunately not good. It sounds like the best idea for a TV show.
Like, Jules Verne is like, it's like all the stuff he's writing about is actually, like, memoirs, but...
Yeah, what happened to him when he was a kid. It's like The Young Adventures of Indiana Jones, but Jules Verne.
Actually sounds like an awesome idea, but...
Why did they not do that? Give it to whoever the fuck wrote Warehouse 13. They'll run with it.
Yeah.
Retired from acting shortly after that, because wasn't going anywhere.
But maybe this is their opportunity to come back as older Jules Verne.
Yeah. And then Carolyn McCormick returns in a secret cameo that I'm going to tell you about later, because it's a major story point. Yep. But if you remember who the fuck she was before, then you'll know what's going on.
She was last seen... being a body double for Senator Feinstein.
Oh, really? No. That'd be interesting.
No, that would be kind of hilarious and interesting, but no, that's not what happened. Her most recent credit was the American Revolution.
Yeah, none of the fun conspiracy theories are real, just the boring ones that actually hurt you.
Yeah. Man, interesting times should really be more like bizarre and confusing as opposed to confusing and tragic.
Yep. Oh, well, what you gonna do? Be gay, do crime.
Yeah.
So now we have a story that, honestly, according to the way I normally script these, we were supposed to be done with reading 10 minutes ago.
Of course.
So it's Riker's birthday, and he's having a birthday party, and to celebrate his birthday, he's playing the trombone badly, and everyone's making fun of him for being bad at the trombone.
Riker knows tons of songs and is actually pretty good at a bunch of them, but there's just a few he just can't.
Yeah, there's this one bit which I relate. I've been doing voice training to try to improve my voice acting stuff that I also do, and there's just pieces. There's like a whole range of 3 notes where my throat just stops working for some reason.
Well, hopefully things get
easier. You can work through it, but like it is weird. If you've never tried to like actually like train your voice for singing or acting, and you like go through a scale, there's like holes that you just don't know about, and it's a little creepy. It's like, why can't I make this noise? I can make noises on either side,
but here maybe it's time to start practicing by singing Master Exploder. Do you know that one?
No, not offhand.
Tenacious D.
Tenacious D.
The opening lyric question mark is going all through the whole spectrum there.
I mean, Jack Black can't sing some notes, and he's never let that stop him.
Yeah. Anyway.
So on the bridge, they're being probed by something. It just happens from time to time.
Yeah. Yeah, we get lots of bit probing in this series.
There's a random planet that's probing them that confuses me, because like it's a Class M planet, but literally no life is there. It's like, what the fuck is a Class M planet then?
That's, I guess, maybe temperature, atmosphere makeup, and
but
radiation
the atmosphere
levels?
makeup is deeply tied to things living there. You don't get an Earth-like atmosphere without stuff doing photosynthesis on it. Like you're not going to get an oxygen, nitrogen atmosphere without things living on the planet. It's not happening.
Perhaps things used to live on the surface, but they left.
Yeah, we're leaving, and we're taking our plants with us.
Yes. Because if you're just going to like kill all the plants, then there's going to be like a whole lot of pollution as a result, because, carbon dioxide, burning of things and all that. So they have to leave.
This rock has offended me in some way, and I'm leaving. So they go to the place that's being probed. They interrupt Riker's party, and he, Geordi, and Worf beam down to the cave. The one.
The cave. Yes. Pretty good map painting, actually.
And as all the caves in this series do, they interfere with all of their communications and scanners and other things.
But beaming in is fine.
Also, the transporter now. Not before, but now. They could beam down, but they can't beam out.
Yes. I guess still I have this sort of working idea about the transporter is like they're effectively lasering their way to the location where the beam-in site is, using some sort of weird subspace nonsense, because Star Trek. And so you can, it's maybe easier to send someone to a place than it is to pull them out. Because you're like cutting your way in.
I guess. So the not being able to beam out is becoming relevant because the place is filling up with gas. Not breathable gas. Unbreathable gases.
Yeah, there's everything was fine just like 30 seconds ago, and then suddenly death gas.
So they'll pass out, and then Riker wakes up in sickbay. But Crusher has a new haircut, and there are mirrors everywhere. Future space mirrors with lines drawn on them.
Yeah, well, the things were pretty shiny on the Enterprise beforehand, but now this is getting a little silly.
Crusher calls Riker captain and asks what the last thing he remembers is, which is the cave thing. And she is, that was 16 years ago.
Dun, dun, dun.
Apparently, that day, he got infected with an Algerian virus that bound itself to his DNA and sat completely dormant until about 10 days ago when it put him in a coma. And memory loss is a completely expected symptom.
So, did it just, like, eat all my memory chemicals or engrams, where the heck they're supposed to be at this point?
Or
Or
something.
is this, like, or are they just cut off?
Who knows? Memory is weird, so there's no guarantees, but maybe if he keeps doing stuff, it'll come back, because amnesia rules.
Yeah. Yes. So, we got to do the whole amnesia game thing here now.
Also, Geordi and Worf are immune, by the way, don't worry about it.
Yeah. Because Klingon and Geordi, I don't know, maybe his visor helped him.
And speaking of Worf, there are more Klingons on board, so maybe Worf has some friends.
Hooray! Finally, Worf is not so alone.
So, they start heading towards Riker's quarters, but he goes, no, my life was on the bridge, and this makes the turbolift lag out for a bit.
Huh.
They say that the computer's been acting slow and having trouble, but Geordi's taking care of it, so don't worry. He's defragging the hard drive or something.
Level 1 diagnostic. We're going to check all of the ones and zeros and hope they're all good.
They're over at the bridge where they're using this as an excuse to give Geordi human eyes so that he doesn't have to wear that visor for a little bit.
Hooray, LeVar Burton's probably happy.
Yeah. It's a very iconic part of the character, but I understand why it was annoying as fuck.
Yes.
Also, there's a Ferengi at the helm, so Nog apparently worked out.
Yeah. So this is not Nog specifically. This is, the
Yeah, this is just a new dude, but like, he forged the way.
Yeah. Trailblazers.
Worf has a big scar now, and Data is first officer.
Well, finally, Data, after so many decades in Starfleet, has finally got a promotion again.
I'm still upset that they never let him be captain, except for that one time. That was great.
Yeah. And, heck, this is one of the few times they even let him put on a red uniform. The next time I think is going to be like Chain of Command.
So Romulan Warbird decloaks in front of them, and Riker freaks the fuck out, as would be expected. But everyone else is like, no, they're supposed to be here.
Oh. So I guess stand down from red alert, don't shoot them.
And Admiral Picard and Troy are on board.
Wait, they took over Romulan Warbird?
Yeah. Single-handedly. Troy has become a commando.
Excellent.
She's like those Bajoran assassins that they had in Lower Decks.
So she's going to be taking over all the Warbirds, and I could see this. I think Troy running rampant over some Romulans on a Warbird sounds like a reasonable plot going
action
forward.
Troy. I know that this is part of the plot, and we're going to get to it. But like at some point, Riker has to be going like, why is no one briefing me on anything? Someone should have mentioned, by the way, Romulans are coming. Like,
maybe even just a quick, hey, you're here, we're about to have this thing.
So they beam over for Picard to explain the plot.
Hooray.
So about 4 years ago, a Romulan ship drifted into Federation space in very bad shape. Riker and the Enterprise responded and helped them, which intrigued them so much that the Romulans became interested in having peace, and he became a key negotiator for a new treaty.
Pretty cool, actually. Riker, you're like a hero and someone who's going to be like important in history books for people to learn about.
I think that this does demonstrate the writers know exactly one way to have peace treaties.
Yeah.
This is almost identical to the peace treaty with the Klingons.
Yep. It's like, oh yeah, they help us out sometimes, and maybe we can't, just go around not trusting them forever.
They are on the final part of the peace process, so there's nothing left to do but to take the ambassador to the signing. Riker thinks this is a really bad idea, and he's right. But Picard thinks that as long as he's briefed and whatever, he's still the best person for the job because the Romulans trust him.
Never mind, I have a crippling disability right now, but
But it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, we can't offend them or something.
Riker says he's had enough surprises for one day, so Troy takes him to his quarters to meet his son, Jean-Luc.
Oh, wait a moment. A son? Surprise.
Jean-Luc is here. His main personality traits are loving his dad and having a dead mom.
Yeah, that's a lot going on, kid.
He also plays the trombone badly, just like Riker.
Maybe slightly more badly, but you gotta work yourself up.
Riker apparently married a woman named Min, who was the ship's counselor after Troy left. He has a type. Yes,
counselors.
Exclusively counselors.
Min, wait a moment. Is this Lin Min May from Super Dimensional Fortress Macross? Okay.
We don't know. It's just Min. It's a weird name for surprise purposes.
Yes.
So you know how they say that men want their wives to be their therapists? Like Riker just takes that to an extreme.
Indeed.
So Riker and Jean-Luc, the little one, have a bonding moment over the trombone. Then Riker tries to look up his service record, but the computer is so slow that by the time it comes up, Picard wants him in the transporter room to meet the ambassador.
Well, I guess we can take care of this service record later. I guess I gotta go play nice to a Romulan person that I've not met before.
The Romulan person turns out to also be a surprise. It's Tomalak, who Riker
Wait a moment, I have met this.
remembers as an asshole, because he's still an asshole.
It's like, I'm trying to be slightly more nice, but I'm still an asshole.
Yeah, they do the whole, like, oh, it's changed. He's nice now, but he's still just, like, sneering at everything. And
just how Riker remembers him, you know.
So Tomalak's excited because they're going to go sign a treaty at Outpost 23. Riker's feeling bad about all this, and he wants to talk to Picard and Troy alone, because he doesn't trust it. Outpost 23 is the key to all their defenses in the neutral zone, apparently. But their information's out of date. It's really hasn't been very important. For years now, don't worry about it. Shush.
Oh, so there's a new Outpost, like, 24 now?
Also, as soon as he starts expressing worries about anything, Jean-Luc gets injured and Riker has to go to sickbay.
Oh no, what you doing, kid?
He broke his wrist playing Parisi's Squares, which is the last dangerous game left in the universe. Yes. Every time anyone hurts themselves doing anything is Parisi's Squares.
Yeah, like, even when Chakotay has that boxing episode, the boxing is kind of like tangential to the terrible thing that's actually going on to him. And he's not really getting hurt by boxing. It's all his mind stuff.
It's just Parisi's Squares. That's it.
Yeah. Parisi's Squares. You can get injured, you can get horribly maimed, and you could die from it.
O'Brien is the only one who gets hurt by anything else, and it's kayaking, and it's there exclusively to demonstrate that he's easily injurable.
Yes. Also to, I guess, make it clear that it's his shoulder that's mostly injurable.
Yeah. Probably because of that old Parisi's Squares injury.
Keeps coming back. They keep healing me, but never heals quite right.
The thing that I don't get, like, they have all of this futuristic safety junk. Like, if this is such a dangerous ass game, why don't you just always play it in the holodeck so the computer can tell when you're going to bash your head on something hard and turn it into a marshmallow?
Yeah, that would kind of make sense. Maybe there's something about the spirit of the game or something.
Yeah, the spirit of the game is that you might die.
Yeah. There's no risk without this.
So everything's fine. They just need to connect more. It's a minor injury as far as modern medical science goes.
All right, so you're not dying, kid. Yeah, I need to get back to work and try not to get yourself killed because apparently you do this game that gets people killed.
Which is a major plot point later in Voyager.
Yes.
So Riker has a heart-to-heart about how he didn't have the best father and he's always been worried about having a kid. But then Jean-Luc goes, no, you're the perfect father. Stop thinking.
Why?
Never mind.
No, both on the stop thinking side of things and also, why am I a good father?
No, he just is.
So you trying not to do what your dad did, but there's more to it than that,
They also talk about men and how she was great at everything.
Oh, that was nice.
And Riker wants to look up some pictures and the computer won't cooperate because of lag and whatever. Computer's still broken.
This is getting to be out. It's getting a little silly. Geordi, what's up with the computer? Why is it like melting?
Then Jean-Luc looks up a specific star date and all of a sudden there's a video. They're having a birthday. It's somebody's birthday. Hooray. And Carolyn McCormick is there as Minuet from season 1.
Dun, dun, dun.
She brings in a cake, and Riker goes, she was never real.
Riker fell in love with the hologram lady there, if you recall. And in that episode involving lots of ones and zeros. And so, she was never actually a real person.
We haven't had the, Voyager mobile emitter stuff yet. So, this technically in the, future timeline would be far enough ahead that holograms would have rights. But we don't know that yet, so...
Yes. And, Riker doesn't know that yet, most importantly.
Also, unless there's some sort of surrogacy or adoption involved, I doubt they'd be able to have biological children.
True.
Well, I guess maybe, because the doctor did make those holographic lungs that worked fine, so the fuck knows.
Well, I need holographic organs. Is your kidney having problems? No, different organs, Doc. How can I put this together here? Remember how you improved your program?
So all of a sudden,
That one time?
he gets called away again, which happens every time he gets upset about something. He gets called to the
Seems to be a
bridge because
pattern.
Geordi has to shut down the engines now for some reason. Riker's just mad, and this is the greatest little rant. I love this.
Yeah.
Comes in and goes, Geordi should have fixed everything by now. He runs and says, as before, you are incapable of that level of incompetence.
Yes.
Just the best line
Oh.
in the whole series, honestly.
Because, sometimes when someone is dragging their feet and they're causing problems and, everything is, it's like, oh, yeah, I'm totally trying to fix it. Calling them out like this is important. But there's more going on than just that.
He asks Worf where he got his scar, but he can't explain. And Data uses a contraction, which he does sometimes, but this time we're supposed to notice.
Yes.
And Picard shows up out of nowhere with Troy, and Riker tells Picard to shut up. And Troy goes, I can sense that you're angry.
Well, duh.
And so finally, Tomalak turns off the simulation. The Enterprise and everyone on board except him and Riker disappear.
Dun, dun, dun.
Tomalak had captured Riker because they beamed down near a hidden Romulan base. And they knocked them out in the cave and used neural scanners and a holodeck to create the Enterprise and try to get the location of the secret outpost 23.
Oh, well, I guess that kind of explains what's been going
Riker
on.
still doesn't buy it because if the scanners could read his mind, why do they need to trick him into revealing the location of an outpost?
That's actually a good point.
But Tomalak's done answering stupid questions. Shut up.
Take him away.
So they take him to a cell where there's a kid that's Jean-Luc. It's not really Jean-Luc because they didn't actually meet. They just used his body as a scan to put a kid into the simulation.
Because they couldn't have done that otherwise, I guess.
Yeah, they've never seen a human child. What even is that?
It's like Riker, but smaller, but no beard. What?
The kid is scared of Riker, but he talks him down, and turns out the kid's real name is Ethan. He was captured at a research station with his parents. Riker promises to get him out of this, but Ethan has escaped before and knows that even with his super special secret hiding place that they still found him and it's impossible.
Well, this sounds like it sucks.
Then Tomalak comes with a guard, and Ethan jumps him and lets Riker get a weapon, and they head to the super secret hiding place. Like, I did feel like there might be, 5 seconds of planning talk, but no, Ethan just, jumps a guard, and then they're out.
I guess this kid's kind of done with waiting around to die,
Yeah.
I guess. Like, I'm just going to try anything, and it actually worked. Huh.
So the Romulan scanners don't work here because there's more Star Trek cave nonsense. So they're very safe in this random abandoned storage room that they forgot about when they redesigned part of the base or something.
So this is the dangers of having an underground secret base, is you can't scan your
Yeah,
own
you know
base.
what happens. You wallpaper over a door, and then you forget there's a tunnel back there or
Suddenly.
something.
Full of a whole bunch of emergency supplies you might need someday.
Since Ethan attempted to escape before, he knows the base layout. He has a map. There's a shuttle bay and a communications thingy. Riker thinks the shuttle bay is a bad idea because they'll be able to track their own ships pretty easily, but they should get to communications. But Ethan knows that the communication is voice-locked and can only be activated by Ambassador Tomalak.
Well, that's weirdly inconvenient, and also, why would you call him ambassador? And also, why would no one else have voice activation?
Yeah.
And also, what's the ambassador thing?
Yeah,
That's
the
important,
Ambassador
isn't it?
thing is the main one. Because Ambassador Tomalak doesn't exist and only existed in the simulation that the kid doesn't know about because he supposedly wasn't in there.
Yeah. So, kid, what's
Then
up?
the Romulans burst in, and Nathan goes, "Oh, we should run," but Riker's fed up with this, so stop it. Just stop it now.
Oh, yeah, you just keep trying to distract me, and it's not going to work anymore, kid.
So then
Come on.
everything disappears because the cave and stuff was just where Ethan lives.
Well, I guess you just live in a hollow deck.
Yeah,
cave?
basically. The Enterprise contacts Riker and goes, "What's going on?" He goes, "I'm about to find out," which seems like the worst possible thing of we've been out of contact for hours. What's going on? I'm about to find out. Stand by. It's like, what the fuck is going on?
Also, you've been in orbit for a couple
Yeah.
days. I guess.
Turns out Ethan is the last of his people because some random enemy was killing them all. His mother hid him here with neural scanners that he can connect to with his mind and give him anything that he wants, but he's been alone for a very long time and he just wanted to have a real person.
Yeah. I guess that's a reasonable desire, but kidnapping is going a little far, kid.
So Riker understands and invites him to come to the ship with him so that everyone can be happy.
Hooray! So we got a new main character.
Ethan lifts his hands and stops being a human child and turns into a little gray alien with big goofy eyes.
Never mind. This is too cheap to
yeah, this is
character.
like sub-Doctor Who levels.
It's like, all right, well, I guess we only get a look at this real version of the alien for just a few seconds here before we get a chance to really think about it. Moving on.
Because my name is Barash. So now we've got 3 different names for this guy, and they beam back to the ship. The end.
I never remember that last one.
They did not know what to do with this character. They did not know what to do with this. They had a good idea, and they're like, this is a great idea. And they went, how do we end it? And they're like, fuck.
Yeah, they leave. Okay.
What are the themes? Ah, damn it. We need those.
Yeah, being confused and trapped and maybe wanting and wanting to belong with the family.
This is also, and, I just realized now as I was reading through this is another one of those ones where like every time somebody talked about Inception, they were like, it's so complicated and confusing and you have to really think about it to understand. It's like, I've seen this like 5 times.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah. It's proto-Inception right here.
This is Inception. We talked about Paprika, which was also Inception. More literally Inception, because they stole half of it for that.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But yeah, there's definitely, this layered reality business going on here. And I think it might have been fun to like have a couple more attempts somewhere, like right at the end. It's like, never mind. No, this is actually a Borg plot. Yeah. No, it's not.
Which is a neat idea. And they do it later with the opposite thing, which is kind of interesting. I forget what that one's called. They have the thing where Riker's like in a play, but also in an insane asylum.
Oh, yeah. Is that the one with like something about perspective or something like that?
No, Matter of Perspective was a different one. That was the other one. Yeah. Matter of Perspective was Riker is a murderer. But anyway, I think it's kind of interesting because it's the same layered reality thing, but instead of in this one, they're like, oh, one of the layers is that the Romulans are trying to read your mind, and in that one, the whole thing is actually the Romulans are trying to read your mind.
So, I think the theme is that Romulans are trying to read your mind.
Always, at all times.
Yeah. Maybe they're jealous of Vulcan because they've, I guess, lost out how to do mind meld stuff.
I don't know. They Romulans definitely are telepathic because they can use this whatever super weapon later. Mm-hmm. Maybe you just need too much mental discipline to do anything good with it.
Yeah, and being paranoid that people are trying to read your mind because they are, that kind of makes it hard to be disciplined. I guess we've solved Star Trek, Epwin.
We did it. I'm not exactly sure. Like, I have been thinking about this for ages. We had a little gap in our recording schedule because of illnesses and various holidays and such. So, like, I watched this and wrote this a while ago, and I've spent every day going, what the hell do I talk about with this? And I spent some time with friends and went, what the hell would you talk about with this? No one knows. This episode is a nothing burger of nothing burgers.
I can say that maybe that there's some message about people being desperate for love might go a little bit beyond what's really acceptable, maybe, but it's like, oh, okay, yeah, people can become psycho-stalkers of various levels. That's a thing that exists, but what are you saying about it?
You're not saying anything about the kid being lonely. The thing that I find kind of interesting is it several times goes, Riker has a thing about being a father. He had a terrible dad. He has a weird life. He's scared of being a father. He's mentioned it sometimes. And now all of a sudden he's thrust into having been a father for 10 years and not being able to remember.
Yeah.
And every now and then he goes, I was afraid of being a father because of all of these reasons. And they go, don't worry about it.
Yeah. No, you're a good dad. Everything's fine. Trust us. Come on. This kid, he seems normal.
Which I guess is like supposed to be sort of a like clue. Everything's going too perfectly. Everyone trusts him too much. it actually kind of becomes an episode of the original series. The captain is definitely impaired and definitely cannot function well enough to do his job, but he's the captain, so we all have to support him anyway.
Riker's like, this is suspicious. This was normal behavior a century ago.
Yeah.
These days, we have a counselor on the ship now. We were
Yeah,
allowed.
the main difference between this and Kirk is Kirk goes, yeah, I am the greatest. And Riker's going, something's wrong here. You shouldn't be letting me be in charge.
Yeah. Though it might have been an interesting way for him to play things once he starts suspecting something's going on, is to, yeah, I'm badass. Let's do all this cool stuff, and we're going to be this, that, the other thing. And when everyone just kind of goes along with it, it's like, you guys are being ridiculous. This is not how we operate.
We need at least one Riker flying double kick.
Yeah.
Is a run down the hallway at Nandori and go, double kick.
But I thought we were past the days of the captain just randomly picking fights in the corridors, but I guess they're back.
They should. Okay, they need to do. I'm surprised that they haven't in any of the things. They need to do at least one thing where they have like a ridiculous fight scene and one of the characters runs in for a double kick and they just cut to a very obviously different guy in a bad wig.
I'd endorse this.
This is something Lower Decks should have done at least once.
Yes. So it's like not quite Spaceballs. You've captured their stunt doubles levels of silliness here, but it would work.
Yeah, it's a callback.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, they just say Riker's a good father because he's a good father, and yeah, whatever.
This is self-evident, Riker. Why do you not remember this? Because I lost my memory. Never mind.
On some level, they could do in this very specific instance, but they don't. Because, like, he could be insecure about it, and people could go, look, here's a well-adjusted kid that you supposedly raised. Ergo, you're a good dad.
Yeah, and maybe if they wanted to, like, make this a lasting impact episode, maybe, like half a season later, Riker could be like, I've thought about becoming a father, after an encounter earlier, whatever time length this was, between these moments, like, I had an opportunity to try it out once or something like that. And, there was a lot else going on, but it did kick me off thinking sort of stuff there. And that could have been an opportunity for some character growth. Maybe to start getting over some of his indecision and anxieties about it.
One of the things is that there aren't actually narrative stakes in here because you could have this as a theme, right? You could have fatherhood as a theme, but it's not. Because this isn't the only way to do narrative stakes, but like one of the common narrative stakes things would be you are like going to be a father and you're scared of it. Or you're in a relationship and the person you're with is talking about having kids, and that makes you think about whether or not you'd be a good father, and then you're questioning it, and then you go on a narrative arc about how maybe you could be, and you address the fears, and then you come back changed, and then you're dealing with a theme. But you're not, because there aren't any actual narrative stakes to whether he becomes a good dad, because
well, he doesn't until
like
Picard.
he's not thinking about being a dad at this point. Right? He's not thinking about whether or not he is a dad. He hasn't been really talking about it. Like, we know from having watched the rest of the series that he had a bad father, and it makes sense that he would have issues with, being a father because of that, but it's never been a central part of his character. He doesn't spend a lot of time going, I want to have kids and am scared of it, or I don't want to have kids because my dad was terrible and I don't want to repeat things. Like, being a father does not really enter into his character mindset 90% of the time.
Like, at all. Yeah.
So all of a sudden, it's like, I always worried about being a dad. It's like, well, it makes sense for you to say that, but like, have you? Really?
Yeah, it's like, maybe, I've always worried about this, but it's also not been a priority. I guess my priorities changed at some point, and maybe have that be the key, I guess, twist on what's going on in this episode. he hadn't even really thought about addressing the issue in the first place. But, maybe, this would be a good opportunity for him to start evolving character-wise, like I sort of laid out before. But, starting with the just being doubts at the quality of his work, possible daddiness, no, that doesn't work. It doesn't make sense.
He's got dad energy, but not... it's not a central part of his character, and it's never been a central part of his character. So, why?
Yeah. Because there wasn't really anyone else to give this plot to, I guess. Other than, Picard, of course. But, because, he has, specific sort of issues with children. But maybe have this be... I know, Will Wheaton's kind of about to end his tenure on TNG here. But you could have Wesley suddenly be finding himself much older. And now, a lieutenant commander on the Enterprise... and taking that role. It's like, wait, I'm a dad? How did that happen?
Yeah, something. Wesley's not here at this point.
Yeah. And, Worf just discovered he's a dad, and maybe, he gets, stranded on the planet instead, and, is finding himself with a son that is now maybe not what he expected, but he's now... finding himself, it's like, oh, I ended up being a pretty good dad, Klingon or otherwise, and, well, now I maybe have a different perspective on all of this. Or gender swap.
I'm forgetting the episode, because it's not named anything, but the Door Monster YouTube channel, they've been doing these like writing workshop style videos for a bit, and one of them had this really good thing about how you should be able to name what your theme is in your writing. If you're writing a thing, you should write down what the theme is, and then you should write to that theme. And I keep thinking about it when I'm looking at these episodes we're doing. And sometimes you can do that. It makes sense as a way to like look at the thing that you're examining. So this one I keep looking at, it's like, what is the theme? Is there a theme? Because I'm not finding a theme.
Yeah. Maybe panic?
They're trying to do the dream within a dream thing, which can be cool, and they wrote it in a cool way, and then they just did that, and they didn't know what they were going to do with it.
Yeah, so you had this great idea, but you didn't do anything with it. I guess potential has decided to die this week.
I will give them that. They are good enough with characters that it's like, okay, nothing happens. I enjoy this episode. I really do enjoy this episode because Jonathan Frakes is a really good actor, and Riker is a really fun character who's well written. So watching him in this situation is a fun thing to do. And it's a good episode to see the character do an interesting thing. But it's not about him or anything he does.
He is experiencing something that is happening to him.
And that's fine. There can be episodes like that if you have a really good character. But like often you turn it into a character study. This is more just a like, Jonathan Frakes gets to be a good actor.
Yeah. I'm acting, and that's about it right now. Yay! I don't really got much more else to say about it myself. There might be something to be said about how the alien got there in the first place, but we don't really explore it other than their people got like wiped out or something like that, and that's why they're here.
There was a terrible thing that happened to you.
Yeah.
Your people were apparently genocided. You were possibly the last surviving member of your entire civilization, and you've been here completely alone for God knows how long. But let's not talk about that. Seems like a downer.
Yeah. Well, clearly this is the same species that attacked that one colony with the one old dude that was, it's actually a super being that like kept recreating his house and such. And he wiped out all that the bad aliens there in a moment of anguish. Clearly this is a backwards justification for that being less terrible, I guess. Right?
Sure, yeah. We can just... Anytime a civilization got wiped out, it was that one guy.
Yeah. Or the aliens that he made go away.
Yeah.
They did it. Because apparently there's, billions of them somewhere, but we never, ever run into them because before this point. But they're dead now, so.
All right. We didn't get as depressing, but we ran out of things to talk about, so. It's time for the Galaxy's favorite game show!
Woohoo! Hey everybody, welcome to the Galaxy's favorite game show. I got various contestants here, and some of them might be real, I'm not entirely sure. But they've been racking up points all the same, so let's start seeing what they won. The first one is the Fooled You prize, which goes to John Luke Riker, aka Ethan, aka that alien kid with the name that I couldn't remember, and to a degree, Holographic Tomalak for using advanced holographic technology and slow brain scans to put Riker in a bubble of unreality. What do they win, Gepwin?
They win some books. You've been trapped here for ages with nothing but your own imagination, so other people's mundane reality seems like the most interesting thing in the world to you. You should just download the books of the people who pass by, and then you don't have to kidnap anybody.
That's a good point. In fact, I got more than a few books I could recommend to this kid. I guess I should probably check my library later. Anyway, the second one is the Disney Origin Story prize, which goes to the entity known as John Luke Riker, specifically, for having one dead parent that he can bond over with his dad or something. What does he win, Gepwin?
He wins the I almost made that joke too. I couldn't find a good way to put it in the script.
Yeah. One dead parent or both dead parents, it's a little more obvious with the one dead parent, and now we can have a after-school special about everything, right?
Well, I think it's primarily there so that you can have like a love story for the one parent if you want to. It's like the divorced dad, but it's less sad because they died, so you don't have to think about how they were probably like a bad parent or something.
Yeah, and there's no screaming and fighting or being abducted by aliens or something like that for a decade, and or losing your memory and then having that ruin your relationship on screen. Anyway, our final prize today is the Shut Up Wesley prize, which goes to Holo Picard. It might have taken a combination of implied time passage and the use of holograms for some version of Picard to get his due for being dismissive of Wesley in the early days, but it's finally happened. What does he win, Gepwin?
He wins the meme. Why, with all of the Shut Up Wesley memes that we throw around, does no one made the Shut Up Picard reaction meme for when you use the Shut Up Wesley meme?
This is our opportunity, folks. Get on to it.
Somebody needs to gift this because I don't understand how you do that.
Well, there's some websites that have macros, but anyway, that's all I got here today, Gepwin. So feel free to take us away, and maybe the holograms will finally turn off and let us out of here.
Yes, thanks everyone for joining us in the holographic hellscape that is the Galaxy's favorite game show. Woo!
So, would you say that this episode, Future Imperfect, was a nothing burger?
I mean, it's like a layer within a layer and a layer, so it's a nothing turducken.
That's intriguing. I don't think anyone's ever described something like that. Congratulations, Gepwin.
I just like using the word turducken in unexpected contexts.
It's a good word.
So this episode we had no Wesley.
Mm-hmm.
So what if we had all the Wesley?
Yeah. Like, he's the main focus of the episode here, and he gets to do Star Trek stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember this one because it makes no sense.
I guess it is an opportunity to drive out to the desert.
Yeah.
To film an episode.
I remember this episode being like neat. I kind of liked it when I was younger. Like it's probably one of the better Wesley focused episodes. This and whatever that one that was supposed to have Tom Paris, but it wasn't Tom Paris was.
The First Duty.
Yeah, that one. That one was really good.
Yeah.
But this one, like everything around the central problem is really interesting. Them all having to like work together and him having to come into his own as like a Starfleet guy and all that stuff is really interesting. But then the central problem they're having doesn't make a lick of sense.
We're thirsty. Well, here's the water.
Yep, right here. What do you want? Yeah. Ooh, water. You think you're going to get water? Nope. Haha.
Yeah, haha.
It's like one of those Greek punishments.
Yeah.
Forget who that dude was. The can't eat fruit and stands in water person.
There's just so many of those guys just hanging out in Hades there.
Anyway, this is the one that you probably have passing memories of, where Wesley and Picard get marooned on a desert planet.
Yeah, because they decide to take the cheap taxi service.
Yeah, and then Wesley is mistaken for the planet's messiah and has to have a very complex arc about whether or not he wants to manipulate people with religion, even though it will trap him in a repeating cycle of doom and war. But maybe he's gotten too far in to be able to prevent the death of the galaxy in his name.
But maybe he can have a couple kids, and at least one of them will go off to become some sort of god or emperor that decides to put a bunch of weird worm things on them and become this weird entity that, rules with an iron fist for, generation after generation in the hopes of breaking the cycle.
He'll become nigh immortal.
And then for some reason, we have flashbacks to a completely different franchise because, the third Matrix movie kind of reminds me of Dune as well.
I mean, everything can remind you of Dune if it's a critique of the hero's journey.
Yes. So, yeah, Wesley starts his critique of the hero's journey plotline, I guess?
No, he just does that. Wesley is the hero's journey. He becomes an immortal super being in a boring way.
Yeah, maybe we'll explore that at some point in a novel spinoff.
Wesley is one of the most interesting characters in fiction because he is what happens when you write the perfect teenage character and then can't figure out what to do with them, but you have to do something.
Yes.
And then you just write him off the show in the stupidest way possible.
Well, he's technically being written off the show in this next episode, but not forever.
He gets sort of written off the show. Then they permanently write him off the show. Then the actor becomes so popular otherwise, leveraging his influence from having been on this show, that you have to bring him back for other parts of the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then he also gets a couple of parts on Leverage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where he begins his franchise of playing himself in everything.
Yeah.
Which, after the acting career he had, go for it.
Yeah. And then suddenly, maybe 5 years from now, someone will try to remake Stand By Me, and he'll show up as one of the adults.
Probably. I don't know if you're joking or if that's been announced, honestly.
No. I've not heard anything like that, but I would not be surprised if things like that start.
When we enter the Goonies cinematic universe.
Yes. You see, it's both attached to Stephen King stuff, but also the Goonies, and also Killer Clowns from Outer Space is involved.
Well, that was
somehow.
it,
Yeah.
It is literally a killer clown from outer space.
Yeah. So it's all coming together, man.
I just so next episode, next week, we have Final Mission. And the first thing that says in the Wikipedia article about Final Mission says, for the action adventure feature film Final Mission, or for the Belgian film Final Mission, or for the NES video game SCAT Special Cybernetics Attack Team. I don't know what that has to do with Final Mission Special Cybernetics Attack Team, but
Yeah, it's a awkward acronym there.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
SCAT.
Yeah.
Someone knew what they were. Someone did that on purpose.
Yep. So yes, look forward to the next one.
It's known as Final Mission in Japan. There we go. I guess because SCAT wouldn't mean anything in Japanese.
Probably, yes.
Anyway, next time, Final Mission. Wesley does stuff with water and a force field that totally makes sense.
And I don't know, there's like a ghost, maybe.
Yeah. You're on a dead planet with a ghost.
What do you do?
Yes, go. You come home and you're on a dead, lifeless planet with a ghost. What do you do?
Next time on Watchers of Tomorrow, Wesley gets thirsty. You have been listening to Watchers of Tomorrow, a podcast on science fiction media. Find and listen to Watchers of Tomorrow on Podbean, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Digital Podcasts, Pocket Casts, Google Play, and many more places where podcasts can be found. If you enjoyed our podcast, make sure to subscribe for more. And make sure to rate your experience or leave us a review. You may find Gepwin on YouTube as Gepwin and on Pillowfort. You may find Dr. Isix, on YouTube and Blue Sky. Music is Waveform and Mori's Principle, both by DRKRN, and Quirky Dog by Kevin MacLeod. Check out the Watchers of Tomorrow Discord channel. You may also find Watchers of Tomorrow on Tumblr. Make sure to share the experience of Watchers of Tomorrow with your friends, loved ones, enemies, alien overlords, and your doppelganger from the mirror dimension. Have a good day, and ahead, warp factor heckin' fast.